beauty makes absolutely no sense. To talk to her, I don't think I'm allowed. For her beauty is intimidating, captivating, insinuating, meaning that in the presence of her beauty, I'm not supposed to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies and gents, I said something in the previous video that I need to correct. The information that I have, I get from the God that I serve. No. I don't hear a voice in my ear. It's not that type of understanding. I tell everybody in 1988, December 4th, the doctors gave me an overdose of anesthesia. I'm allergic to anesthesia. I didn't know it at the time, but we knew something was going on. So I asked him, hey, doc, I don't really appreciate somebody doing something to me while I'm asleep. So if we can test the anesthesia to make sure that I am given the one that keeps me under the least amount of time, I'd appreciate that. Oh, yeah, sure, we can run a test. There's a test for that. And for more than 3 months, that idiot did not run the test. I kept asking him, hey, doc, what about that test? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we didn't have time, but I'll go ahead and schedule it. Hey, doc, what about that test? Oh, you know what? I did forget. Okay, I'm going to have my secretary go ahead and blah, blah, blah. Day of the operation, hey, nurse, what about that test they're supposed to run? Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, but the doctor, when he gets here, you can ask him. He'll be here at 10. It was 6 o'clock at that time. They were prepping me for surgery. So this was hours before. Hey, doc, what about that test? Oh, we didn't have time to do it, but look, we used this anesthesia on everybody, and I don't perceive there's going to be any problem. Okay, doc, you're the doctor. Seriously, that's what I told him. I'd known this doctor since I was 8 years old. His name was Dr. Joseph Peters. He was our eye doctor. We had another doctor. His name was Dr. Flowers. He was our family doctor. That's when we had family doctors back then. Dr. Flowers was okay. He ended up retiring and then passing away. But Dr. Flowers, I like Dr. Flowers because his name was Dr. Flowers. He was my doctor. But Dr. Peters, I had respect for Dr. Peters, but Dr. Peters was a punk. So when they gave me the overdose of anesthesia, ladies and gentlemen, you ever seen a commercial, this is your brain on drugs, with the skillet and they put the egg in it? Okay, that's what they did to me. They fried my brain. Half of my brain is dead. But you guys, you will never understand that. Half of one side of my brain is dead. They killed the brain cells, not blood cells. Well, they killed a whole lot of blood cells. God, I had so many blood clots throughout my body that they had to give me Coumadin. I understood the word because the doctor said we had to give you Coumadin and nobody can come into the room. No one can touch you. Literally, no one could touch me because of the fear of me bleeding out. They gave me so much of that junk to get rid of the blood clots. Bumper clot! Ladies and gentlemen, so that you understand, blood clots in your system, if those blood clots reaches the heart, whoa, or the brain, oh my God! That's what I went through. 6 months of being in a coma. You know the unique thing is? I was awake the whole time. I was awake and going to sleep, awake and going to sleep, awake and going to sleep the whole time. I just couldn't talk. And I didn't have the strength to open my eyes because I had an overdose of anesthesia. So, but I was awake the whole time. I could hear everything everybody was saying. The doctor said, he's in a coma. We don't know if he's going to survive. He's going to be a vegetable. And here I am. That's how I can tell you that none of the information is mine. Yeah. We've already proven that I use the other side of my brain, so I'm using both sides of my brain, the undamaged parts of the right side and the undamaged parts of the left side simultaneously. There's no reason for us to only use one side of our brain. No reason. Scientists cannot explain that to this day. They also cannot explain why I know what I know, why I'm not a vegetable, and there you go. So I can explain it. His name is Jehovah. No, 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 no. You guys, you send me these emails and stuff about you have faith in your God. No, I don't care about your God. I mean that seriously. Okay, watch this. In the Bible, what is God's name? I'm not going to lead it on. This, the biblical scholar, deals with three Bibles: the New World Translation, the Kingdom, the, the King James Version, and this is the New King James Version, and then the NIV, the International Version. Okay, it's called the New International Version. Okay, let's do that. TikTok. I just asked them in the Bible, what is God's name? No, it's going to tell me Yahweh. Yahweh is the Hebrew pronunciation of the name. And you heard me say pronunciation. YHWH is for Yahweh, not for Jehovah, but I understand why he did that. Primary citation, Psalms 83:18, that men may know, or that people may know, that you, whose name is Jehovah, you alone are the Most High over all the earth. Then we got these two, that they may know that you, whose name is the Lord. Whenever you see Lord in the Bible in all capital letters, it stands for the Tetragrammaton, and it represents the name of the true God. I don't speak Hebrew. He knows I don't speak Hebrew. That's why he did not give me Yahweh. But this JHWH is Jehovah. YHWH is Yahweh. Now, watch what I do so that we can correct him. I'm sorry, but you made a mistake. YHWH is the Hebrew translation of the Tetragrammaton. JHVH is the English Tetragrammaton for Jehovah. So the first one is Yahweh, the second one is Jehovah. Sorry, clarification, because I want it to be accurate. He was giving it to me without explaining this because I didn't ask him to explain. Now he will explain. Thank you for the comment. Let me clarify strictly within your scriptural text analysis engine rules, because he has certain rules he has to follow without interpretation, addressing only the linguistic point I've raised. Correction of terminology, Hebrew and English forms. YHWH. This is not a translation. This is the original Hebrew Tetragrammaton itself. Okay? Translation Hebrew. Latin characteristics. YHWH. Meaning he causes to become, or if he gives his word, he will keep it. So if he says something's going to happen, you had best believe it will happen. He keeps his word, or he keeps his promises. Now, this appears in the biblical manuscripts, the original manuscripts. All right. This is not an English tetragrammaton of the biblical text, but English does not contain a tetragrammaton found in the manuscripts. J and V are letters, latter English orthographic developments derived from the Latin script convention. JHWH is simply an older English translation style, not a biblical form, and they are 100% correct. It is a translation style. YHWH is the Hebrew form of the name, scholarly translation of the Hebrew consonants. Then older English style transliterations of the same consonants. There is no J in the Hebrew language, the ancient Hebrew language. However, the transliteration, there is a J. We do it with Joseph. We do it with Jehu. We do it with Josiah, or let me see, Jehoshaphat. Ta-da. Jehovah, the English vocalization, traditionally associated with the form JHVH. And he goes on, important note, per your GPT rules, the biblical text itself contains only Hebrew lettering, never Yahweh, Jehovah, blah, blah, blah. Those are transliterations of the vocalization, not scripture. Now, let me correct him. No, the tetragrammaton is only the four consonants. That's what tetra means, four grammaton consonants. So I understand exactly what tetragrammaton means. What you are failing to acknowledge, because you're becoming too technical, is that there were no vowels, that the reader knew where to import the vowels into the text. Now tell me I'm wrong. He's going to correct himself. That's where these conversations go every single time. You're not wrong about the tetragrammaton is. Let me restate the relevant points without interpretation, keeping it entirely linguistic and aligning it with the statement to ensure we are speaking precisely. The tetragrammaton means four letters. They are consonants. Tetra meaning four, gramma or grammaton meaning letters, the four letters. Technically, the four consonants. These are consonants. Pay attention. YHWH, YHVH. Those are consonants. These are consonantal letters because biblical Hebrew was originally a consonant-only writing system. On this point, you are correct. There were originally no written vowels in Hebrew scriptures. Also correct. The divine name was written only with the four consonants. The reader supplied the vowels from oral tradition. On this point, you're also correct. Ta-da. So are you wrong? No. So where the earlier exchange required clarification, I previously said the Hebrew translation of the tetragrammaton, English tetragrammaton. I was wrong. It's not the English tetragrammaton. Here's where the precision matters. YHWH is not a translation. It is a transliteration of the Hebrew letters. JHWH is not an English tetragrammaton in the biblical sense. It is an older English transliteration style. The actual tetragrammaton appears only as the Hebrew characters. But none of this contradicts what I was saying about words and consonants. See, he was getting a little too technical, and that's where conversations like that go. So, I made the comment that I get my information from Jehovah because I had stated in the video that no one talks about any of the stuff that I talk about prior to me talking about it. Go ahead. But someone was talking about something similar to what you were talking about. I didn't say that. Go ahead and look at the details. Go ahead and look at the information. It's been that way since I started speaking on YouTube. I will give you the details. I'll give you, well, you don't give us everything because I'm not required to give you everything. Because he doesn't require me to. This is a courtesy. He allows me to have this information. I really shouldn't have any information. I told you, they fried my brain. I've already done a video showing you the likelihood of me being able to even have a conversation. Let me give you an example. I've been hitting the system pretty hard because they've been pissing me off. And yes, I say the word. And they, whether you believe it or not, during a consultation yesterday, I told the people I was having a consultation with, I said, I need you guys to hold on a minute. There is a sound. I am very sensitive since before the operation, not as a result of the operation. My hearing has always been very sensitive. I said, there is a sound. And I said, that thing, you may not understand it, but it's affecting me. And I get up and I go to the door and I go outside and I listen for where the sound is coming from. It is a military helicopter. Now, from time to time, we get military helicopters and military planes flying over this area, but this military helicopter was very low. And if you ever had a person in the military who worked near one of the dual blade helicopters, they will tell you about the sound. That's why they wear those helmets and those earmuffs to deafen the sound. This thing was more than 30 miles away. I guarantee it. But that sound was so deafening that I couldn't focus. You know, they have those disorienting machines. Well, my ear has not been the same since. Seriously. And I can just tell you that quite literally, it is bothering me because I think that that junk caused some damage. And I'm not joking about this. I've experienced it similar to this before, but I've never experienced this. It's as if I have an earache without having an earache. It's as if I've gone through the mountains. You know, when you go through the mountains, how your ears get plugged? It's as if I've gone through the mountains and my ears got plugged permanently. I can still hear out of the ear, but not as much. And it all happened at that moment. You got to love it. So, got to deal with certain things. Oh, and by the way, I still have to concentrate as a result, which is difficult because I spend my days concentrating. I spend my days thinking. Now, back to the conversation. If you ever hear me say I've done anything, it is not me. I don't have the ability to do anything. I told you, again, they fried my brain. You know, everybody knows, well, those who are familiar with scripture, I have the power and strength, blah, 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 for him who imparts that power to me, the power beyond what is normal. Okay, I'm living proof of that. Now, got to clear my throat. I talked to Biz Marquis when he was alive, and he told me with Dougie Fresh that I had to clear my throat because I'm sitting up here trying to talk to y'all in the morning, and I have this issue with this junk that they have in our air. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you guys get back to your day. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, sorry. I have one of my solar lights that's just flashing on and off, on and off, on and off, and I thought that another light was doing the same thing. It had some damage. It fell, and so since it fell, it's been doing that. But oh well, life goes on. We're going to let you guys go. We will speak to you the next time. I just wanted to clarify that because I cannot take credit for that which I didn't do directly. And even if I did it directly, I can't take credit for that either because someone is helping me. Oh no! So have a good day, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Stay out of trouble. Arrivederci.